Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Psycho Gold. This is Psycho Gold Videos. We're going to be checking out a couple of trailers today. This should technically be a short video followed by another short video, and then anime will resume. But while I was asleep, Nintendo did a direct, and they showed off, or at least had trailers for, quite a few things that I'm interested in. I've checked out a few of these on my own, but a couple of these I wanted to do reactions to. This one is Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 related, which if you've seen my previous video on the subject, you know I'm incredibly excited for, and will be following every single piece of news to do with this game very closely. The other one is Astral Chain, I think it's called. It's a new game by Platinum. It looks like it's got a very anime type feel to it, so I'm very much looking forward to checking out that one. I've personally also checked out some of the other stuff. Of all of the things I've seen, I think Fire Emblem Three Houses is the one I'm most excited for so far. And there was another one that has a weird name that I can't pronounce that I'll look up when I do the Astral Chain reaction in a minute. But for now, let's see what the Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 trailer gameplay. I don't really know what it is. It just says Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 Nintendo Direct. So we'll have a look. 3, 2, 1, go!
For the first time in 10 years, the Marvel Ultimate Alliance series returns with a new 4-player action RPG and an all-new...
It is 4-player... Okay.
Assemble your ultimate dream team from a huge cast of Marvel superheroes. From the Guardians of the Galaxy, to the Avengers, Defenders, X-Men, and...
Oh, the... What? Venom! Yes! Venom! Okay, I'm happy. I don't care who... Oh, actual gameplay!
Locally on up to 4 systems or online. And get closer to the action with a dynamic zoomed-in heroic camera. And speaking of heroic, it's time to further.
Of course she was going to be in it. Captain Marvel.
Protector Captain Marvel. Wield her power against those that
okay, so she looks like she has like another mode. Oh, okay.
In Carol Danvers' case, literally.
Damn.
In addition to basic attacks and skills, each hero has an Alliance Extreme attack, their most powerful move.
Yes!
Join forces with friends locally or online.
Okay.
Take teamwork to unprecedented levels as you creatively combine hero skills into synergy attacks.
So...
your most powerful attacks can even be combined into Alliance Extreme attack.
So they've taken... Yes!
Off the charts, in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, the Black Order launches exclusively on Nintendo Switch this summer.
Okay. That was short. I'm gonna watch it again because there's a lot there that I need to double check that I heard that right. Okay, so I've watched that trailer 3 times now. There's a couple of things. So the first thing is Venom. Now they specifically showed Venom when they said you can recruit your playable character roster from blah 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 and others, and then they showed Venom. So I swear to God, if they show that and then Venom isn't playable, I'm gonna rage at this game. Because Venom is one of my favorite characters across the whole of Marvel. And the fact that he was made playable in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 as DLC on the 360, and then was a playable character right from the get-go in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, made my day, until I realized it was the Mag Argan version, and he paled in comparison to the Venom that we had in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1. But then they rectified that by giving us Carnage as DLC, and he just wrecked everything that had a heartbeat, so... I might have just missed it in the first trailer, or I'm just not remembering. Maybe I'll go watch my own reaction and see that I even commented on it, but I don't remember Iron Fist being in the first reveal trailer. He might have been in that shot at the end, but I don't remember him being like featured at all in the footage that we saw. So the fact that they've specifically said the Defenders, and of all characters they've chosen to represent them, they've picked the one whose Netflix series just doesn't seem to ever be liked. I personally like the Iron Fist character. I also like Shang-Chi, who I've also been reliably informed is getting his own project, whether it's a film or a series, I can't remember, but again, another great martial arts character that I'm very much looking forward to seeing. But after seeing Iron Fist gameplay, I'm really liking what I saw then from his ultimate attack. It seems like they're going to solve the problem that I had with Iron Fist in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. Was that where he was in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2? But anyway, he never really had anything that made him fun to play as for me, other than, if you're a fan of Iron Fist, here's Iron Fist. But he didn't really have anything in his arsenal of attacks that actually made him look fun. Now, Marvel Heroes, which sadly you can't play anymore, but I actually like that game. When they introduced Iron Fist, he was voiced by Johnny Young Bosch, which was cool in and of itself. But that version of Iron Fist had all these crazy, over-the-top, like, spiritual powers, these kung fu moves, and I'm like, yeah, this is more what I want to see from an Iron Fist, like, playable character. Yeah, it might be exaggerated over the top, and it might be drawing from maybe the one time Iron Fist did these things in the comics, but he still did them, and it's still fun to play around with the idea of the, you know, kung fu aesthetic as mystical superpowers, and that's kind of the fun of Iron Fist, at least for me. The Netflix series certainly didn't understand that, but looks like the people making the Iron Fist in this game have, and I hope that he's not the only defender. I hope we get his partner Luke Cage. I hope that maybe Daredevil's going to be in it. Jessica Jones and some of the other defenders, I'm not too fussed about. Like, the main three defenders that I like are Cage, Fist, and Daredevil. Like, back in the comics and in the Netflix series, funnily enough. But there are definitely other Marvel characters that I would be curious to see if they're going to include. Like, they've recently announced a load of Hulu series, which confuses me. And we don't have Hulu over here in the UK, so I have no idea how that's going to work for us. But they've announced that they're going to be making a Dazzler animated show. So I'm wondering if Dazzler's going to be a playable character, because that would be pretty interesting. Like, Dazzler's a super popular character. So having her actually be in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, either as standalone or as a future DLC character, because I'm sure they're going to do DLC characters, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, back to the actual trailer. They also showed off that Captain Marvel was in the game. Not exactly surprised. The only thing I did think, though, was when the camera zoomed in and you saw Captain Marvel and Captain America, I think it was Groot, or was it Hulk? Anyway, it was a big guy, and Star-Lord on her right, and when they zoomed in, a part of my brain just went, hang on, is this Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 or Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite? Because those models, especially the Captain America one, it looks good from a distance, but you zoom in and that's giving me infinite flashbacks, and that wasn't a good look for Cap. Either of them. On a personal note, I take issue with what the narrator said. They said he was like, enter the universe's most powerful galactic defender, and it's like, I think Nova and Silver Surfer might have something to say about that, but you know, we'll let it pass because you're determined to push Captain Marvel as the most powerful hero out there in the vain hopes that it's going to convince some people that she actually is. She's not. I'm sorry, like, I like her character, and I will still go see the film, and I'm not mad about the fact that she is being made a big deal in the MCU, but it doesn't mean that she's the most powerful. She's not gonna bitch slap Thanos and be like, I got this. And if that happens, I guarantee you the cinema will erupt. But anyway, I really like the idea of the camera that can pull in and pull out. That was one of the things that I felt like Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 especially really struggled with. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 had the exact same problems with its camera, but it came from a very different era in gaming. It was a sequel to the X-Men Legends games, and I felt like with every incarnation, it kind of got simplified a little bit more, especially when it made the jump from X-Men Legends 2 to Marvel Ultimate Alliance. But Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, man, was the pinnacle of... You mean, people think the games get dumbed down now, but Jesus. If you've played Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and then you went and played Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, you know what I'm talking about. Marvel Ultimate Alliance, the playable powers that you could equip, was like a list that you had to scroll down, like this, you know? And every character had multiple different superpowers. Some of the characters had a little bit of crossover, but overall, the base characters, we won't count the DLC characters, but the base characters, they were pretty varied. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, on the other hand, every character had 4 powers. And I swear to God, 2/3 of the roster, the first ability they had was something barrage, whereby you just tap the button and they just fire a load of barrages, whether it was Iron Man's repulsor rays, Spider-Man's bullets, Gambit's cards, Iceman's icicles. The list of things that they figured out a way to turn into a barrage drove me mad. I mean, I was surprised when you played as Venom that he didn't shoot little venom bolts somehow. But yeah, man, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, the designs for their powers just drove me mad, but this already looks better than that. The Black Widow gameplay that we saw actually has me more excited than the Captain Marvel gameplay that they showed, because I like the way that they, you know, she's like melee character, then she jumped up, she did this big electric shock. It's like, okay, so she's not just going to be a character that spams guns. Yes, she then used her guns afterwards, but that's fine. She's a spy character, I fully expect that. I like the fact that they confirmed, you know, how the multiplayer is going to work. So on TV mode, you'll be able to play on one console. In handheld mode, you'll need separate consoles. Makes sense to a degree. And obviously you'll be able to play it online. I have no doubt that me and my brother are going to do exactly that, because he also has a Switch, and we both like the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games. Me and my siblings and my cousins, we all played Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 to death. We played Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, but they really didn't like that one anywhere near as much as they liked the original, which I don't blame them for. So I'm really hoping that Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 has learned from the mistakes of its predecessor. That doesn't mean that Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 got everything wrong. It really didn't. It had a lot of improvements in some aspects, but I look at this game and I see an amalgamation of 1 and 2. Specifically, when it comes to their big final attacks, because I saw some things that I recognized. So the first thing was, they said that you can do a big, powerful super move, and then they showed Iron Fist essentially punching dragons at people. Looked badass. Instantly, that took me back to the first Marvel Ultimate Alliance, whereby you built up a super meter, essentially, and you could trigger an attack, and your character would do this massive over-the-top move, and usually it would be pretty cool and spectacular. A couple of them were lackluster, but it would pretty much wipe everything on the screen except a boss in one go. Now, you could also chain these moves with the other characters if they were being controlled by the AI. Obviously, if you had 4 people playing, then it wouldn't trigger everybody's moves. I can't quite remember, but it definitely triggered them all if you're playing with AI companions, and that was an okay feature. Again, it came from X-Men Legends 2, where it worked slightly differently, but when Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 came along, they decided to do away with that and introduce this thing called Fusions, which was originally going to be the name of the game, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 Fusion, but then they scrapped that, and they completely removed all of that from their marketing after selling the game as, imagine the powers of all of your favorite Marvel superheroes fused into one. Like, the idea is that you could make their superpowers work together and do some cool stuff that they couldn't do alone. The whole point of the game is obviously teamwork. And interestingly, right after they showed us that you can do big superpowered finishing moves a la Marvel 1, they then said, and you can combine powers together to do combos. And then they literally showed a move that I remember from Marvel 2, because every character pretty much had the same moves that were just recycled, whereby it showed Storm and Star-Lord making a vortex, and Star-Lord is like empowering the tornado with something to make the tornado much stronger. Maybe it's pulling all the enemies in, maybe it's moving around the map. I don't know exactly, but that move is straight from Marvel 2, and if they have both systems in place, now I'm not saying they've got Fusion system, because that system was terrible. I hated the Fusion system mechanic. Liked the idea, hated the execution. But if they have the idea to make regular powers be able to do like combos, like Marvel 1, if every character has their own big, super, really flashy, finishing, like, screen clearing ability, I'm sold. And then they said that you can also make them work together. I'm like, okay, yeah, okay, so you've taken aspects from both games. And then, at the end, they showed off that the big, super flashy finishing moves can also be executed together to basically do a Marvel Capcom, like, 3 team-up screen killer. Like, oh my god, I'm gonna melt my Switch if too many of these characters do these moves together. Like, what? That was just insane, man. I'm really looking forward to seeing what else this game can do. With that said, the roster does have me a little bit concerned, because Captain Marvel is now at that end shot where they're all looking at the camera, and I'm really worrying that that is the roster. Like, there might be a couple more characters shown off, but I think this is mostly it. Which is going to be a little bit disappointing, because it's like, it's mostly just MCU characters, and then there's like one character from the other teams that we like. There's one X-Man, Wolverine. There's one Defender so far, Iron Fist. There's somehow going to be like a Venom, maybe a couple of playable villains like Marvel 2, I don't know. But I'm hoping that that end screen is going to like pull back, and then there's going to be room for a lot more characters. That's what I hope is going to happen, because I really hope that this game has more X-Men. Not just for me, but I think having more playable X-Men will make the game a lot more popular, especially given how badly the X-Men have been treated in rosters in Marvel games recently. Yes, I'm looking at you, Marvel vs. Capcom. Okay, so, I've been a bit of an idiot, and editing this is going to be so much fun, but I suddenly realized whilst I was talking that I completely missed another reveal, and part of my section of the video I'm going to now have to remove because I've realized that what I was ranting about was actually shown in the video. So, pretending that I know where this is going to slot into the video, you'll have to forgive me if this bit feels out of place. Yes, we got Captain Marvel, we got Venom, we saw gameplay of Iron Fist, but there's another character that I completely blanked. Probably because what I should have done was go back and rewatch the reveal trailer to remind myself exactly who's going to be in this game. But Storm! They flat out showed Storm! Not only did they show that Storm is in the game, they showed us gameplay of Storm! And my brain completely blanked it. Do you want to know why my brain completely blanked it? Because Storm has been in every single one of these games that I was convinced she was already announced. I didn't actually think that she was a new reveal because part of my brain just went, Storm is in X-Men Legends 2, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. Of course she's in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. She was in the end shot. No, she isn't, and she still isn't. So, with that said, that actually means that we now have 2 X-Men. We have both Logan and Aurora, which I have to say that cuts out a significant portion of my theory of this video when I was trying to think about what kind of direction they're going in the roster. Now, that doesn't mean that we're gonna get all the X-Men that everybody wants, because quite frankly, there are too many X-Men to please every X-Men fan, and you know, I would love it if Cyclops could be in the game and be a unique character that is different from any other character. That would be really cool. But I don't think he will. If he is in the game, I bet you he's going to feel like a copy of another character, but maybe not. Maybe these guys will actually be able to create completely different feeling heroes in regards to their powers. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Continuing the topic of who's in the game, they made a point of saying, you know, we got Avengers, we got Defenders, we got X-Men, Guardians of the Galaxy, others, enter Venom. But there's one hero team that is interestingly not included in this Ultimate Team-Up, and I don't think many modern, like, MCU fans are even gonna notice, but I think anybody that reads the comics and is an older fan are gonna be like, so where's the first family, man? You got this massive gathering of the best heroes, and yet there ain't no fantastic element to them whatsoever. And I'll be honest, I hadn't even clicked that they were missing from this game because I never really play as the Fantastic Four in either of the last Marvel games. Now, that is more to do with the fact that the people designing their powers have kind of not really appealed to me. The Thing is always just a big strong guy that can punch things really heavy, and we already have the Hulk. The Invisible Woman is just able to turn invisible. Yes, she can like do things with force fields and stuff, and if they play up to that, then they could do stuff with that. But especially in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1, you had Doctor Strange who could do telepathy stuff as well as do actual magic stuff, and it's like, well, he was a lot more fun. So that just leaves Mr. Fantastic and the Human Torch. Now, the Human Torch, I actually think is a great character. I would love it if he was in this game. Like, he could do so many cool things with his fire powers. However, wouldn't he just be very similar to the gameplay we just saw for Captain Marvel, who is basically just using space fire to do the same thing that the Human Torch does? Now, again, this comes down to, do you want your favorite characters in the game, or do you want characters that maybe are not the characters that you want, but they're actually going to feel different from each other? I would love Human Torch to be in this game. Hell, I'd love the whole Fantastic Four to be in the game. But what I don't want is for them to just put characters into the game that are going to feel the same. If Daredevil's in the game, I don't want him to play like Black Widow and Iron Fist. If Human Torch is in the game, I don't want him to be like Captain Marvel. If Thing or Colossus is in the game, I don't want them to feel like I'm just playing the Hulk with a different skin, you know? That's my only concern with this sort of game. From what we've seen so far, I actually think the devs are doing a really good job at not making all the heroes feel the same, but we really haven't seen that much. We've seen snippets of gameplay, we've seen snippets of story, we've seen bits and pieces of how the systems are going to work, and since this trailer has also confirmed that this game is launching in the summer, which yes, is still several months away, I'm thinking that they're going to start ramping up what they show off. Obviously, I'm hoping they're going to acknowledge the fact that they just teased a playable Venom. I hope that they're going to show, is Iron Fist the only defender in the game? Are there going to be more defenders? Or are there going to be more X-Men? You know, where are we going with this, basically? And is Venom in the game because he's technically an anti-hero now? Or is Venom teasing the idea that there might actually be playable villains? Because I believe the first trailer showed that Green Goblin is going to be in the game, probably as a boss, but obviously in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, Green Goblin was a playable character. Now, I'm not particularly saying that I think he's going to be playable again, or that I even want him to be playable again. Really cool idea to have Green Goblin be playable, but again, like most things in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, don't necessarily think he was executed the best way. I think they did a really good job with what they had to work with. I just think most of the characters in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 were hampered by the overall design decisions. Same as there are other characters that I don't think have been announced yet, that I'm surprised haven't been like part of the main crew. Black Panther seems like an obvious where is he, because his film made all of the money and everybody knows who he is now. Deadpool is another obvious, like, okay, so Deadpool was in X-Men Legends 2 as both a boss and a playable character. He's in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1, and he's in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. And he's pretty popular as well, and he has 2 pretty successful films under his belt, so come on, Marvel, where's Deadpool? Now, it's possible that Deadpool might be part of the Others group, because not many people class him as an X-Man anymore. He's kind of more his own thing, off in a section of Marvel that just kind of operates on his own, which is, you know, fine by me, but I really hope that some of the other characters, like the Fantastic Four, Black Panther, Deadpool, the list goes on, man. I don't want to turn this into a theory list, but I just think that there's a lot of characters that seem like they're going to be obvious fits for this game that they haven't mentioned yet. And the interesting thing is going back to what I was saying earlier about the end screen, about how they're going to fit everyone if this is the whole roster. They showed off Storm and Iron Fist, but Storm and Iron Fist aren't actually in the end roster, so I don't know where Iron Fist is going to stand. I don't know where Storm is going to float, because I'm assuming she's going to float, but I definitely don't think we should judge the roster by that end screen. I definitely think it's going to expand. I think there's going to be more playable characters than they've necessarily shown off right now. Either way, I'm excited for Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. This has already been way longer than I planned for it to be, so if you've stuck it out to the end, thank you very much. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Drop your comments down below letting me know what your thoughts are on this trailer, this game. Are you excited for it? Yes, I know it's a Switch exclusive, and if anybody is going to ask me what do I think about the graphics, I don't have a problem with the graphics. I don't know why so many people are complaining about it. I think people are just complaining to complain. I don't see it looking like a mobile game. I'm sorry, I don't. I've been hearing this complaint a lot about several games recently, and I don't know what mobile games you guys are playing, but mobile games look terrible. This doesn't look terrible. This is cel-shaded. I don't know what people want from the graphics of a comic book game that's clearly going for that kind of style. I'm happy with it, and that's all I've got to say on the matter. So, with that said, that's the end of the video, guys. If you're interested in more Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 The Black Order goodness, consider perhaps subscribing, as I will definitely be continuing to cover this game, either with more reaction videos, with more breakdown videos. I might even do my own personal wish list or theories on the game, because as I say, I am super excited for this game. I'm so happy that I have a Switch. I'm not sat here like, damn it, I want one. But yeah, I will definitely be eagerly anticipating a more nailed down release date. But that's going to be it from me, guys. This is Psycho Gold signing out.
Imagine the power of the world's greatest superheroes fused into one.